The limit node is one of the most basic nodes in n8n. In fact, it only has two different parameters. You can specify the first or last items, as well as the number of items that you want to keep. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 4 different practical applications on how you could utilize this within your workflows. In addition, I'll be talking about both of those different parameters and also how it pairs really well with the sort node. And before we jump into n8n, if you need any help with any data needs or any AI automation, I am taking on freelance customers. You can find out my contact information down below in the description. All right, let's jump into this video. All right, guys. So this is actually going to be a pretty quick lesson. It's a very simple node to work with. So first, let me show you where you can find this node. You go to the plus icon over here, and then you go into limit, right? Which is restrict the number of items. Now there is other ways to restrict the number of items. In fact, you can do this with the loop over items. That is a special use case. It's a little bit later on in our n8n playlist. In fact, I haven't recorded that video as of yet, but it is coming soon. I promise you on that side of things. But regardless, what we're going to do is use this one over here, limit. Okay. The other nodes that I'm using in this video, initially, I'm using a manual trigger. So just go over here and just search manual trigger. I'm also using the code node. So just code over here, and then I'm using sheets, right? So all stuff that you should be somewhat familiar with, maybe not the code node, but we're just using that to populate data. All right, so our first example over here, what we're going to do is keep 2 items, which is going to be the top 2. So we have a manual trigger over here. Inside this code JavaScript, what I have over here is different names like of developers, designers, project managers, QA engineers, right? People that work in a workspace, right? So there's 4 items in general. You can see this in a table, right? The ID of the person, the name, and then also the role of the person, right? Pretty straightforward on that side of things, and right, just simple data. Okay, then we jump into our limit over here. And what you do on the limit is you really have 2 parameters, right? So the first is the max items. So this tells you how many items that you can save here, which will be in our output. And then you have the option whether to keep the first items or the last items. So let's take a look at an example, right? Where we save 2 items as a max items, and these are going to be the first items, right? And what you can see is we only keep the first 2 with ID 1 and ID 2, right? The developer and the designer. We've cut Charlie, we've cut Deanna, right? They are no longer working for this company. We only have the 2, right? Again, you can take a look at the JSON if you want this to 1-to-1, but the table over here also kind of shows that picture really nicely, right? We go from 4 into 2 on this side of things. And this is because we selected the first items, and then we only wanted to have the max of 2, right? Now, if we want to do the opposite on here, right? We could go over here, and sorry, I meant to do this on this side of things. We could go over to the last items, and you can see also like we've kept 3 and 4, right? So now we've kept Charlie and Deanna, but Alice and Bob are no longer working for the company, right? And again, you can change the max items, like let's say 3, okay? We see the last 3 that are saved. We go 3 over here, right? First 3 that are saved. And this assumes that our data is sorted and good to go. But that's not always the case in the real world, right? So what we want to do on this side of things is sort our data, right? So this is our first items example. So what I've changed this a little bit different is we have different items over here, right? That you would have with a restaurant, right? Pancakes, omelets, burger, or salad, right? And here's the prices associated with them: $15.50, $9, $25.50, $17, right? Which, by the way, really expensive burger. What are we eating at Ramsey's restaurant? But regardless, right? You can see that these are out of order, right? I guess you can make the assumption that we have breakfast first with pancakes and omelets, and then burgers out a little bit later. But regardless, you know, the price is out of order. That doesn't really help. So what you'd want to use is a sort node. Now I have a full video on the sort node as well, and I recommend you check this out. But we're going to do a simple sort. We're going to sort by price ascending. And now you can see the cheapest item on the menu is omelet, right? And then if we go over here, 1, right? So now we can grab the top item in ascending order on this side of things, right? Which I find a little bit more useful because, again, in real world scenarios, not everything is already ordered, right? So use a sort node with limit, and it helps you a lot with your data set, right? You sort it, and then you can grab the most expensive item, or you go over here and put 2 for the 2 most expensive items or the 2 cheapest items, right? Depends how you sort this. I sorted this by cheapest to most expensive, so I'm getting the cheapest item on the menu over here. Now, if I wanted to get the last items, right, I could go over here Again, like same stuff that's going on, right? This time I sorted ascending again. So you can see $9 through $25. And then if I want to get the most expensive, right, I do max items to last items over here. And you can see 17 and 25.5. Again, depending on how you set up your sort, right, depends the order on this output and stuff like that. So feel free to mess with the sort, whether you want to sort in ascending, right, or sort in descending, and then populate this into the limit, right? So this one you can see, second most expensive on that side of things. Lastly, where I think this also helps too, and just to give you guys another example on this side of things, is going to be reading in data. It could be like a database, a Google Sheet, right? It doesn't really matter. There's also internal data tables now here in n8n, but it already has a built-in limiter on that side of things, so you can limit it directly there. Here when you go into sheets, for example, I'm just grabbing a sheet that I've used in a lot of videos for the split out node, right? There's no option to say like, hey, I only want the top 50, right? Like this reads this all in. There is a filter. You could technically add in a filter on here based off of a column. But there's no option right now just to stop this, right? So what I want to do is just read in the spreadsheet, right? And I'll actually get this step. It's a very basic spreadsheet, right? Bands, songs, genre, seen live. There's 10 rows on top of a header row. What if we want to limit that, right? Let's keep 4 items on this side of things. And you can see we still have the header over here, and then we kept 4. And this one, we kept the last items. Maybe we want the first items. We go over here if we keep the first 4 on that side of things. Again, you can add in sort if you want it in some capacity, like, hey, I want an ABC order. You put the sort here and then you limit it. It doesn't really matter, right? But the point is that this limit will decrease the number of items that you want to have in here in some capacity, right? Whether you want to see like what's the most expensive, what's the cheapest, top 3, top 5, it doesn't matter, cut the data set that you're looking at. This is kind of the benefit of using limits. So again, just to kind of recap on limit, right? There's 2 parameters. You have the max number of items, right? Which is going to be the items that you have in the output, right? You have items coming in, which is your input. Then you have the items coming out, which is your output, right? Obviously the max items can't exceed what's going in. So first you limit it to a number of items, and then you decide, right, do you want to keep the first items that are coming in, or do you want to keep the last items that are coming in? And, again, data is not always really nice when it comes into a limiter. So often it's really common to set a sort right before limit. In fact, these videos are going to be right next to each other in this playlist. So learn sort first and then populate it and limit. Now sort has a lot of different options in over here. If you just want to keep it very basic, very simple, right? You set a simple sort. You can either do ascending or descending and choose the column that you would like to sort by. Using these 2 together is pretty powerful on that side of things. And yeah, that's it essentially for limit. Not really much to cover just because of those, again, very common if you want to use this with like Google Sheets as well. But I do expect over time that there's going to be other limiters like added in. And just to show you really quick why I see that, if you go over here to data table, if we go over here to get rows, right, you can see that there's a limit built in, right? So like you don't need to use this limit when you're using internal data tables. It could happen in the future with like Google Sheets and stuff like this. I'm recording like end of September going into October. n8n makes a lot of updates. So, and again, there's a lot more than just Sheets and, internal data tables, a lot of other sources out there. So, but yeah, so that is essentially it, guys, for this video. Hope you found it valuable. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out this n8n playlist. I'll catch you guys in another video.